The beryllium sphere. Oh, yeah.
Whoa! It's the House Podcast. It's the usual suspects. Tony Viscotti. Mark Wiederwelt. He's Chris Afola. And tonight's special guest, Rory Romano.
Yeah! The only Rory Romano.
All right. Well, this is our first show.
Soundman extraordinaire.
We're doing pretty good. Well, yeah, right. We'll talk to him about that.
Stop that.
Everybody good? Everybody dry from the big old storm we had? Didn't that come out of nowhere?
My
I mean,
God.
It did.
Was it me? I
Wow.
know I don't pay attention to the news, but that
Do you know,
shit
you
came
know,
out
you
of
know,
nowhere.
do you know what I didn't understand? How much water can the heavens hold?
Yeah.
3
That's a
days
lot of
of
water.
it. How can it? It's incredible.
It's incredible, isn't it?
I
How
don't
can
know.
that all stay up there?
I mean, it was like worse
Yeah.
than like
You know how
most
much that
hurricanes
weighs?
we've had here.
I know.
All that weight?
My God. How
Yeah.
much water can the heavens hold? And it just kept coming.
Yeah.
Everything.
Apparently a lot of water. They shut down the airport.
Yeah.
Dude, you need like a conveyor belt and a couple trucks to dump that shit. How's it just, you know?
Man.
Oh, that shit's going to stay up there in a
Yeah.
cloud. I beg to differ.
Well, anyway,
Gives us
here we
our-
are.
gives
We're
us
going to
our
talk
break.
about music
Yeah.
again. We got Rory coming in. We're waiting for him. He's in the green room. Yeah, he's chewing on the snacks.
Tune on
So
snacks.
we're going to talk to Rory and see about, what's going on with him and how we got where we are and all that good
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Great guy.
But I wanted to, which we'll talk with Rory about this too. I wanted to talk more about today's original artist. I mean, we talked about how it used to be and the way things should be and blah, blah, blah. We can't change any of that. The point is, it's the future now.
Yeah.
And we got to break through all that noise. And let's not
Right.
forget, we're seasoned players. We're not the young kids anymore. So
Right.
Young kids don't want to hear it, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
So what do they give a shit? Unless we come up with a good song that everybody hears, right?
Right.
You got to get it out there. But how do you break through all the noise?
Huh.
Well,
That's a good question.
Yeah.
also, there's such.
You know what? I think it's just the music just has to speak for itself.
Yeah,
You know,
but it
I
doesn't
mean,
speak if you can't hear it.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
well,
You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
That's true, but there's also a cliche,
that's
especially.
true, but you know what? Today's music and the,
I think it's today's audience.
The kids
I think it's
today
the audience. Yeah.
are so what you call it?
What you call it?
Tony likes that word.
Oh
What
my
What you
God,
call it?
Chrissy, I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying the kids today are so centered.
Yeah.
You know, they're so centered that they only like a style of music and that's it.
Well, it's not. I don't.
Oh no, no, no,
Well,
no.
no, that's how I look at it.
I don't think it's self-centered. I would think that they're just closed-minded. Not closed-minded. Well,
Well,
yeah, maybe
this is
some-
what I meant. This is what I meant about that.
Because
Is that
everything is that kind of built.
if they
society.
see a bunch of 50-some-odd-year-old guys playing this shit, whether it's good or not,
they're
they're gonna
not
be
going
like,
to
"Oh,
club.
Grandpa," and they're gonna.
they're not going to clubs.
Well, that's
Well,
what
it's
I'm
not.
saying.
It's not just that.
But you have to be viral. Is what I'm trying to say. You can't just play for 50-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
no.
We can. We can. I mean,
No, what I'm saying
If
is,
that's what
like
you're
you were
gonna
saying,
do.
the market is the kids now and everything, and that's. But when they see us, we're not kids anymore.
I'm
So
just-
we're right away. We're.
Right.
We're old men.
That's what I'm trying to say. You don't break them from the looks. You break them from the music.
That's right, Mike. I agree
Right.
with
You
you.
know what I mean? A good song.
I have hopes for that.
But how do you get the good song
song.
out there? That's the question.
Right.
Bam.
It's on social media.
It really is. I know, but that's where you have to be diligent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep up your appearance.
Right?
You get out there. Fuck the clubs. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's all about.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
all
This
about
is
social
You're not going to get them out there unless you
well-
break it with a song.
Yeah.
And then they want to come see the band, and then
Then
they
they
go,
wanna
"Oh
come
my
see
God,
it."
look at these old fucks."
Right. We're gonna go get these damn kids off my lawn. Yeah.
Right?
And then they're gonna go, "Oh, these guys great.
Wish
They're
I
not
could catch
21
that
like
little
me."
bastard that took off with my riding
I don't think
lawnmower.
I don't think today's youth is ready for even to understand identifying
Right.
somebody that can work an instrument.
I know.
I'm sorry to
I
say
agree.
that.
Unless
I'm
it-
sorry to say
unless
that.
it's
I'm not
themselves.
saying anything
I
about
totally
it.
agree. I totally agree.
They took the T out of art, and if you can guess what that word is, talent. Sorry, was that out loud?
Hey,
Oh.
we're getting a phone call.
Oh, we're getting a call.
Look at
Hold
this.
on.
My goodness.
Oh, look. Oh, wait.
Hello?
Is this Dave Rhodes?
Who's this?
Yes, indeed.
It is indeed.
We were just talking about you
Oh
last week.
yeah.
Hello.
It sounds like a wonderful party there.
Oh, it
Hello,
always is.
Mr. Dave.
Well, now
How
that
you
you're
doing?
here, the party's begun.
Cheers.
Cheers, Dave.
Yeah, cheers
That's
to
usually
Dave.
when it stops.
How you doing, Dave?
Blow me.
Thanks for calling in.
I'm doing awesome. And listen, just so I can get this out of the way, Mike, thank you. Chris, Mark, Tony, awesome to hear your voices. And it's always fun watching
Thank
you
you,
guys out
sir.
there.
Dude, more of an honor for us, man. Trust me. We're really happy. We love you very much.
Yeah.
And every day I think of just my history, my past, and all that stuff.
I'll tell you this: we're all blessed. It'll be fun to get together in person again. Give you guys a hug.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look, we got a huge history together,
Yes.
and I think that's the important part.
Yeah, so we're going to have you on the show next week, Dave. I hope you can come out and do a little jam.
Awesome.
And if not, we'll get somebody to come and pick you up, some scumbag or something.
What are you doing now? Are you playing with anyone?
Well, you know what?
Well, let's talk about it next week.
I'm in between bands because COVID changed everything.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
now
yeah,
I'm a working schlep, and I'm consistently working on all kinds of new techniques that I found during my loneliness.
Oh, right. Okay.
Dude, I got a gather of that when you sent me that video the other night, and it's such in a way a blessing in disguise to have the time to be able to work and work on your techniques and stuff while we couldn't gig, and like you said, it opens new doors. It does a whole bunch of new things. It's refreshing, and what you sent me was really, really inspiring, man. I just really like that.
Well, it's like there's so many other things out there. One of the things I hope to get in to the conversation next week is that, we all became musicians before we knew it.
Right.
And then when we became musicians, we all sat at the same
Right.
lunch tables with people wearing the same
Right.
concert shirts.
Right.
And as we got older,
like how he
music
puts that.
opened up to what really is out there and available.
Yeah.
And we weren't so worried about white knuckle holding on to our own thing. We were opening up our minds and hearts to a lot of different
No,
things.
exactly.
I love that, and I'm looking forward to sharing that.
Awesome, Dave.
Dude,
Dave.
that's so
Next
profound,
week, Dave
man.
Rhodes on the show.
Voice of reason.
Dave, thank you so much for calling in.
And you
man.
still sound young, Dave.
Yeah,
How do you
you
still
do.
sound like
Dave.
you're in your late 20s?
We all should be amped up all the time. And we will be next
Absolutely.
week when I see you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks,
looking
Dave.
forward to it, Dave. Dave, thanks for calling, man.
We're definitely
All right,
looking
man. Thanks for
forward to
having me, guys.
All right,
Dude,
Mr.
our
Dave.
pleasure. You
Have a
too.
great evening.
Dave Rhodes.
it. The legend Dave Rhodes.
That is crazy.
Man, I swear to
Right.
God, I always would watch Diamond Rose and back in
Yeah.
the day, and I swear to God,
Yeah.
man, it's just so polished.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, very
And
polished.
of course, Oni went on his own career. He was in Lynch
Yeah.
Mob. He used to sing and
Yeah,
play
Oni.
drums for Diamond Rose from Fort Lauderdale. So
And it
rock
was
stars
just
were coming out of this town,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So we can do this.
Yes.
good music, It was really.
Uh-oh, what's this
Uh-oh,
mean?
what's this mean?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Walk
What's
all
this?
over you, dude.
Would you do?
what's this?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
Rory.
I feel like putting on a schoolboy outfit and dancing around like Angus.
I thought I saw you. Come on in, my man.
There he is! Rory Roman! How you doing, buddy? Yeah.
Roxy, we can't let you be alone, Roxy. What's happening, guys?
Hey, Rory, one more handshake.
One more.
Gotta say hello.
Hello, Mr. Rory.
What's happening, guys? Good Friday evening.
Rory was one of the first people I met here when I first moved to Florida. Right? My mother was like, "Why is this guy walking in our house?" I'm like, "That's what he."
And when you're that young,
I don't know. It was a southern thing. They used to do that. People were very, nice here.
Yeah.
We weren't used to that.
Right.
from where
Yeah, I
we were
mean,
from.
we had a
you
great.
just run into the fridge and grab a high C. My mom's like, "Who's that?" It's my friend. Yeah.
You didn't have to leave the block, to go hang out with people. You had, families, and
Absolutely.
plenty of people, to just
Don't
hang
you dare
out,
go by the canal.
play street ball.
Okay. So that's how far back Mike and Rory go.
Wow.
And all the rest of
Right?
us.
And then
70s, right? Late 70s.
79.
Best
I
times.
think I celebrated 1980 here.
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
Roxy's leaving the show.
Yeah.
And
Roxy's had enough.
Oh, Roxy, come
Roxy.
on. We'll
So
sing you a
then,
song.
what was it? So then, actually, after high school, Rory, you left us. You
yeah,
went up to New York?
packed my bags and said, I'm going off to embark on a career, man. Let's make this happen, There's a world out there to see and, things to do.
Tell us about that.
Follow the dream.
How'd that happen for you?
Back when we were 16 years old, and Mike's band Dry Rain had so
I love that.
that was my first introduction to live sound. They bought this little PV console, had about 8 channels or something, and They did a gig at the K-Pop Tree. Some of you Florida natives remember the K-Pop Tree.
Yes, we're really that old.
Off of 84. And that was my first live mixing gig.
This is your life.
Go ahead, Rory.
All right, get it up. Thanks, Mike.
So, packed the bags. Folks took me up to Atlanta, started school, and
You
switched
mean
over.
Art Institute's main
Art
hub
Institute
was there?
It was, I believe, started in Atlanta, yeah. And so I went there, got my associate's degree in music business management, focused on audio engineering. There was a music seminar that happened in New York City called the New Music Seminar, I believe it was what it was called. So we took a trip up there. It was a great time, met a lot of people. Wound up meeting some studio managers and had discussions with them about, after I graduate, love to come up and try to get a job, working in recording studios. After graduation, I took a trip up there. I interviewed, got hired on the spot to have an internship at a
Nice.
studio.
It's so hard to get in.
Can you start this week? Actually, no. I got to go back home. Need to work, save up a little bit more money, and I'll be back. So give me 30 days. I come home, finish up working. About a week before
Wash
I
your
was
socks and shit.
bags were packed, trailer was loaded,
Nice.
ready to move to New York.
Busy, yeah.
I call up the studio. Yeah, I'd like to speak to so-and-so regarding the internship that I have coming. Oh, he doesn't work here anymore. The internship has been filled by somebody else.
You didn't come in that first day.
Such as the music
Is it-
business.
That's the music business.
Exactly. If you don't jump on an opportunity right
shouldn't have
away,
washed your socks.
It's gonna go.
Wow.
So I contemplated it for maybe about 20 minutes, and I said, you know what? The trailer's packed, my bags are packed. I got $1,000 in my pocket. I'm going to New York.
Wow.
Drove to New York. My cousins up
ballsy.
there gave me a place to stay for a few months.
Oh, good. That
But it was a struggle in the beginning. It was hard to get into a studio at that time. But I was determined to make it happen. So I had to suffer through working a bunch of, shit jobs, for about a year or so.
Fall back
So I
on.
wound up finding a place in all of places, Hollis, Queens.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Get on Queen.
Home of Run DMC and whatnot.
There you go.
Okay, so I worked in this factory, printing
Straight up,
all
no?
kinds of shit. Wound up finding out about this local studio in Brooklyn called Infinity Studios. It used to be called Fly Studios, and it got bought out by this guy Dave, and they hired me, and I went there interning. So I'd work during the day.
You mean apprenticeship?
At Hollis, and then I would do my job there, get home for about an hour, then I would go to the studio and work at the studio. Great staff, worked there. Engineer Bobby D, my mentor, phenomenal person to learn from. I knew that it wasn't going to take me to the place I wanted to go, but it was a place to start, to learn my craft and whatnot. Met some great people along the way.
When did you work with Hocus Pocus?
Okay, we got to put these little shots in there, Rory. Okay.
Hocus Pocus came into the picture. Well, that was after
It was 92.
It was 92. So jump ahead a few years after putting in some time. An engineer named Phil Castellano, amazing engineer, great, had worked at this local Brooklyn studio for many years. He wound up getting the chief engineer job at a place called Soundtrack Studios in Manhattan. It was mainly a jingle house that started up in Boston, but the rooms were empty at night. So they decided that they were going to now start renting out the rooms for recording and mixing sessions.
After hours, right.
And it wound up being a lot of rap. This was during the days of gangster rap, Black Sheep, Onyx.
Like today.
So I was doing a lot of that
They
stuff,
were like, put the intern on it.
And
Right.
but when I got there,
Where's the stunt double?
I was sitting at a desk all night. I did the overnight, so I was working 9 o'clock at night till 7 in the morning. So I started getting thrown on sessions, proved myself that I'm worthy. But one of the managers kind of didn't like me because I was good at what I did, and I stood my ground. And I stood my ground. And so I wound up
You had his job.
hearing about an opening. A friend of mine told me about an opening at the Power Station.
There you go.
Power Station, I mean,
There you go.
That's,
legendary.
One
Okay.
power station that was run by Bon Jovi.
Was run by Tony Bon Jovi, who was the cousin of John Bon Jovi. That's where John started his life and career by sweeping floors at the studio.
Oh, wow.
And they would work on demos with John in the evening. And the stories that I would get from a lot of the staff engineers at the time who really weren't too crazy and happy about working on this, they called it Johnny duty.
Oh,
And nobody ever wanted to do it.
it doesn't sound very nice. Johnny Duty.
But
Dirty toilets.
it wasn't him that made the studio legendary. It was the band Chic. That
Chic, I remember them.
basically, so Tony Bon Jovi, who's a brilliant mastermind, the guy's a genius.
Yeah, great.
And so Chic, the money that Chic brought in with royalties and whatnot is what gave Tony the grand studio that he had.
A lot of us know, but maybe people out there don't know of the bands that you've worked with.
Yeah, how did
I mean,
you break
a
into
lot
the?
of-
This one engineer, Roy Hendrickson, and
Why does
brilliant
that sound
engineer. So I would assist on sessions with him at Soundtrack Studios, and he would always request me because I impressed the hell out of him and whatnot. And he's like, "Listen, anytime if you ever end up you want to go power station, let me know. I'll put in a word for you." So a friend of mine had told me about. He heard there was an opening. They were cleaning house at the power station, and so I went down there, met with the studio manager. Okay, thank you. We'll let you know.
Sure.
So I kept persistent and got myself a second interview. As I'm sitting down in the lobby waiting, Roy walks into the building.
Okay.
"Oh, what are you doing here?" "Oh, I got a meeting with Joan, blah, blah, blah."
Right.
Now, there's 4 stories in that building. I get into the elevator. By the time I got from the 1st to the 4th floor, he made a phone call.
I see. So there was the time at the right place at the
So-
right time.
Exactly.
So from there,
Throw
I just,
down.
worked my way up
Razzle
to
dazzle.
becoming the top assistant engineer at the studio. Wound up working on some amazing records. I think 3 Meatloaf records.
Kick ass.
Got to work with some of the most amazing producers and engineers. Tom Lord Alge,
Did you get to work with AC/DC?
everybody's name. I'll get to that. Absolutely.
And the guy who started out with Hocus Pocus on a PV4H record.
Exactly.
That was dry rain.
Dry rain. Sorry. Dry rain.
So we're
correct me.
we're mixing this album for this up and coming band that had a grassroots following called the Dave Matthews Band.
Oh,
He wasn't
okay.
anybody at
Really?
the time.
Wow.
The shit
that's
dumpers.
big.
So they hired Steve Lillywhite produced it. They weren't too crazy about the way the mixes came out, so they hired Tom
Nice.
Lord Alge, who has what they call the platinum touch. Anything that guy mixes just goes platinum. We basically did a song a day, had the record mixed. Tom and I look at each other, we're like, whatever. Where's this gonna go? What is it? 10 million albums later.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
Right? Look
Great,
at
great,
Bon Jovi.
great
Yeah, I'll
opportunity.
never get it.
Great start.
Wow.
I get called into the office one day. Manager sits me down. Now, there's no secret to what my life is all about regards to my favorite band. Ever since I was 10 years old, AC/DC is the band that changed my life.
Okay.
My dream was to just meet them one day. I get called into the office. My manager sits me down. You're going to be working on a session. Okay, great. AC/DC.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
my jaw just
That's
dropped
big.
down to the floor.
That is big. Very big.
Unbelievable.
What hit me the most?
So let me get this straight. You're the engineering them.
I was the assistant engineer.
Okay.
Okay.
Still good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
What made
Absolutely.
my jaw drop to the floor was finding out that Phil Rudd was hired back into the band.
Wow. Awesome.
So all of a sudden, I'm
So it was
like,
at that time, yeah.
I'm working with the band that recorded Back in Black.
Wow.
Wow.
50 million albums worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. That's
Absolute dream come true. I just wanted to meet them one day, shake their hand.
And you just wanted to meet
I
him.
got to spend 2 months in the studio
Nice.
with them,
That's a little more
watching
than you
them
expected.
jam out
Beautiful.
every fucking
Sounds like a
day.
dream come true.
oh yeah.
Like nothing in my life
Absolutely.
could ever really top that.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
What track was it?
This was the Ball Breaker album, 1994,
Oh, wow. Great album.
produced by Rick Rubin, kind of.
50-50 there, right? Kind of. Right.
It was a lot of
For the most
a lot of controversy with that album. I don't want to go into too much detail about it.
That's okay.
But at the end of the day, after 2 months of tracking, none of the album, anything recorded in New York, was used.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
They
Why
wound
is
up-
that? They didn't. The company. It might be
It
a whole
was,
separate.
yeah,
okay,
it was.
okay.
It was
Keep
just
as you were. Go ahead.
It was just nonsense, you know. So they go pack everything up and they go to L.A. and they record the
What a
record.
shame.
Okay.
Again.
And I'm like saying to myself, I'm like, wow. It's like man, this sucks. It's like, what an amazing opportunity to have my name
Right,
on
but
an
that's such a
AC/DC
bittersweet
record.
thing. That's
absolutely.
yeah,
You
it's
did,
a,
in a way.
Oh, yeah.
So the album comes out. I get the album, and I look at the back of the credits,
What do
and
you
there's
do?
my name.
Yeah.
kick it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like,
Dude, that's like a dream come
Rory
true.
Rock and Roll
I
Roman.
was just like, I couldn't believe that.
Did they give you a middle name like with a slang thing?
So to
I don't
include
care.
me on an album that I technically did not assist on because everything was done
That's
there.
awesome.
That's how
But
much of
you
an
still
impact you
did
made.
put the
That is
effort in New York,
And
right?
That's how much of an
a lot,
impact you made.
a lot
Oh,
of
absolutely.
Understood.
and a lot of
Absolutely,
times they
dude.
say, be careful what you wish for when you want to meet your idols.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, dude.
This band does not
Exactly.
fit that mold.
Yeah, exactly.
The most down to earth,
Definitely.
Right.
Unassuming.
fun loving guys
Yeah.
that just love to sit
Wow.
around and have a good time.
That's kick ass.
Yeah.
So I wound up meeting them when they went on tour for that album. Met them at Jones Beach when they played a show there. Nobody ever goes into the dressing rooms. I got escorted in
Wow.
That's awesome.
to say
That
hello
is
to,
fucking
to,
awesome.
to Malcolm and to Angus.
That's awesome. That
And
is fucking awesome.
it's words can't really describe, what that feeling was all about. A couple of years later, worked with Kevin Shirley, produced Silverchair and a lot of other Journey when they had the reunion with Steve Perry and whatnot.
Amazing.
So I wound up working on the Aerosmith Nine Lives record
that's
with
what-
Kevin
wow.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Good album.
Yeah.
By far, all the artists I've ever worked with, Steven Tyler is probably one of the most intense artists you'll ever meet.
All right.
Really?
He's very
Not only can the
creative
guy play pretty much almost every instrument,
Wow.
but the band would be in town Monday through Friday, and then they would fly home for the weekend to be with family. Not Steven. He would stay in New York, and we would do stuff with Steven.
Oh, wow. That's
And the
cool.
things that guy
On the
came up
side?
with.
You mean- I mean,
for
working
for
on the
album.
right.
Yeah, for the album.
Yeah.
Sorry, wishful thinking.
His mind does never stops.
Wow.
It's unbelievable
That's awesome.
to be around those kind of.
It's just
people.
creativity speeding forward.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and it was an amazing
Saw the
time.
wheels turning.
So I had a good relationship with Kevin, and about 1999, he winds up securing the producing job for Iron Maiden. So they're recording the album in
I got
Paris
something I thought.
at Guillaume Tell, very famous studio in Paris. Kevin wasn't completely sure what the interaction, communication was going to be like with the assistants over there. So he wanted to feel comfortable enough. What are you doing for this amount of time? Nothing. What's up? I need you to come to Paris with me
Wow.
to cut basic
That's
tracks with
fucking
Iron
awesome.
Maiden.
Fuck,
That
dude.
is
Holy
awesome.
shit, dude.
So
God,
all
that's
expenses
insane.
paid.
Oh, the
To
only
go-
band that you ever loved in your life.
And they're all
And-
legends.
Spent 2 weeks in the studio. Now,
That's when you don't wash your socks and don't shower. You're ready for Paris.
right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
they booked 2 weeks to cut basic tracks.
Right.
Okay. Nico got the drums done in 5 days. Hanging out with those guys every day was awesome.
That's kick ass.
Damn.
Bruce's vocals, a lot of the takes that were done during basic tracks,
Right.
I believe were used on it. Watching Nico play triplets, eighth note,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
with a
That
single
guy's
foot,
incredible. He's incredible.
single pedal,
He is,
no
man.
shoes.
Pat Travers Band.
Yeah.
Fifth Street.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just an absolutely amazing
Oh, yeah.
experience.
Oh,
Love
absolutely.
Nico.
And that record is just like
Florida resident.
absolutely amazing. You know,
My
Brave
neighbor.
New
He's a
World,
neighbor.
He's my
just
neighbor.
just a great time.
Rock
That's
and roll
awesome.
ribs. Made.
Rock and roll.
The
Yeah,
industry-
Those rock and roll ribs, I had to put out
Yeah,
a
it's-
fire in the garbage can, and Nico's like, "What you doing, mate?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm throwing my beer in that little trash can by the front door. It was on fire." He helped me. I was like, "Cool."
So it was a good 10-year run making records. Like I
Oh,
said, I
man.
got to work with some amazing, phenomenal artists, over the
That's
years.
amazing.
Pro Tools
Then he-
started
oh,
coming into the
yeah.
picture.
There you go.
I'm out.
As an engineer and learning old school, cutting tape, all that's what I was all about. I'm not a computer guy.
Me either. I think it
expense.
ruined the recording of a mechanical
Okay.
nature.
It took a very organic vibe out of it.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot of the jazz artists that I got to work with. I'm talking A-level jazz artists throughout my tenure at Power Station. A lot of them were against it because they just didn't like the it took away the organic. Doing like they don't do overdub. As a growing engineer, wanting to have a freelance career, it was okay because they had separate people that were Pro Tool operators.
All right.
Budget started to shrink. Okay, record companies didn't want to pay the money for 2 engineers anymore.
Yeah. Sure.
So now you had to become a Pro Tool op and an
Or
audio engineer.
you're obsolete. Right.
Right.
And that's when it changed for me.
Yeah,
because
I get it.
in order to do the thousands of dollars you had to spend, all right, and then you had to deal with, I mean, the amount of crashes that happened during
exactly.
sessions, the amount of downtime.
When you
that
didn't
just
have to
sucked-
put up
it
with that in the
sucked
first
the
place.
Yeah, you
life.
got to become an IT guy.
Yeah.
2-inch scotch through a Sennheiser Marshall stack. You know,
No,
just do
thank
it.
you.
So you got a band out in the studio spending a few $100s an hour, and they got to wait for a computer to reboot.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Da, 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 da.
And so it totally sucks. So then it got to a point where they didn't want to pay 2 separate people. At that point, I was
course
like,
not.
what am I going to do? So I started getting into live sound. I was mixing live bands, friends' bands all around New York City. I started in the circuit with that, and through a mutual friend, I wound up hooking up with John McEnroe, the tennis player.
Awesome. He plays
He had a
guitar.
cover band. He plays guitar. Had a cover band. Did cover Zeppelin. Stuff like that.
Doesn't Bacon do one too, right?
Did he go, that track is out? It was out. I saw that.
I actually made a record with the Bacon Brothers.
Excellent,
Actually, Kevin Bacon's brother.
So we are
very,
first degree Bacons.
you're first degree of separation for Kevin Bacon.
Excellent. Oh, cool.
We all are.
1 degree of
Wow,
separation.
for degrees of separation. I
We
heard
know a
about that
guy
whole
who knows
kid.
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, my God. Hey.
There you
Isn't
go.
there a theory that goes behind there, right?
1 degree of separation.
Everybody knows
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Bacon in some way.
Yep,
Yeah,
at some
everybody
point.
knows
We have a
that.
1 degree.
6 degrees of separation.
First degree
pretty
Kevin
good.
Bacon.
Got into this live sound thing and did a bunch of things. Flew around the world with John. We went to Paris to do some shows while he commentated for the French Open and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
Got the taste of it. And a Long Island band called 9 Days. Sure, everybody knows who they are. Maybe not by name, but if I say the name of the song, everybody knows it. Right. This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. Pop song. You know it? You know it?
You're talking a bunch of old farts.
All right.
over there.
Anyway, so went to number 1 on the Billboard charts. Okay, not
I
an easy
remember
task
at the
to do.
time, yeah.
Okay, not an easy task to do.
Yeah, they were popular.
Another
remember.
one-hit wonder.
I wound up hitting the road with them. That song alone got them on the 2 years I spent on the road,
Wow.
and that was it. I was like,
There and you were a road warrior
and
after
that basically brought me to 20 years of touring on the road.
All right. Well, listen, we'll talk about that in a
That's
minute.
awesome.
We need to take a quick break
Let's do it.
to establish our drinks and stuff and
Okay.
adjust our volume levels from the constant party that's going on with my freaking neighbors.
They're violating the sanctity here.
Airspace.
Yeah, it's our
We're
space, our
gonna be
personal
right back
space.
after this message from Tony's good friend.
That's right.
Fuck you!
Let's see what's going on here. I just got fucking home. What's going on? Yoda! Dude, what the Yoda? Wake up, dude. What the fuck, man? 10 minutes fucking beers. What are you doing? What's fucking wrong with you, man? What the fuck is this? Yoda, man. Oh, fucking great. God damn, wake up. Yoda. Fuck you. Wasted land. Not you are. No, you're better than me.
This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world.
This is the song?
Really? When she smiled.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
All right.
This is what, 9 days, right? This is 9 days.
It's a really good
9
song.
days.
I don't know it,
Number
though.
1 song.
It is.
9 days. What do you mean 9 days? What's 9 days?
A band from Long Island had a number 1
I'm sorry.
single.
This is the song he asked us earlier.
This
We
is
never
a
heard.
song that
Okay,
fucking
sorry,
made
I was sleeping.
Tony, are you paying attention?
No, apparently not.
This is a song.
That's the
Remember
band.
he asked us, you guys all know this, it went to number 1, and I played it, and we still don't know it.
Yeah, that's why, apparently, right.
Don't know.
All right, so I've
So
met
this
4
went to
people on
number
Earth
1.
that never heard it.
4 people.
Went to number 1, and basically the band that gave me the life on the road.
Yeah, led to the life on the road.
Amazing.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. That was it.
Yeah, about 2 years or so. Started out as the monitor engineer, worked my way up to front of house, and then tour managed.
Wow.
And that's when I became a tour manager as well.
Awesome.
Because again, with the shrinking budgets that happened, into the 90s, you had to double up on jobs. So
It's a shame. If you were only like a decade sooner, then you would have had.
Oh,
You know,
dude,
like,
you don't know how many times I
you could
thought
have been
about
the next
that.
Peter Grant.
If
Right.
I could have been 10 years older, I would have seen Bon Scott with AC/DC.
Right.
Oh man.
That would have been awesome.
Playing at
And
Summers
promoted
on the
them.
Beach.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Kind of a thing.
Summers
but,
on the beach.
Well,
yeah.
Rory, we want to thank you for having us out.
Guys, it was a
thank you.
pleasure to
for
be here
us.
at the house.
Absolutely.
Thanks
At
for
the
coming
house.
out
The house.
and
It's
joining us at the house. You had such an interesting life. I wish we can go on forever, but we can't.
Absolutely.
But is there any, like, in particular, one road story that you would like to just tell us before we end this?
Probably the most memorable one is, doesn't involve sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It happened while on tour with a band out of Chicago called Kill Hannah.
Oh, awesome.
We were on a tour. We were on our way from Bologna, Italy, on our way to Paris, France. And we were having bus problems with the inverter. So we had no power on the bus while it was driving. And I got up early in the morning. I wanted to videotape the Alps. I'd never seen, the Swiss Alps, during the day.
Right.
And I'm up in the front with the driver. I look over. I'm like, something doesn't smell right. I smell smoke. What's going on? So
right.
we're approaching a tunnel called the Gotthard's Tunnel, which is about, I think, 8 to 10 miles, long. Takes you from the Italian side of the Swiss Alps into the French side.
Right. Right.
And we pull over to this exit, last exit before the tunnel. We get out, driver opens up the bay door, flames are pouring out.
Holy shit.
Oh my goodness.
I got 17 people on the bus.
Oh, my God.
What is my first instinct?
Dark side.
Run back into a burning bus and
Yeah.
get everybody off as safe as I can without
Good
yelling
job,
fire.
Oh my God.
And we watched our bus go up in flames.
Wow.
You can
Holy
see
But you
the.
saved everybody?
I guess
saved
indirectly.
it.
I did.
Wait. I got to do this.
Indi-
hero you are.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Yoda.
That's
That's
great.
fucking amazing.
And
That's fucking
you can see the video
There he goes.
That
online.
is awesome.
go-
That is
So
awesome.
many.
Wait. Is the video online?
Go online, Kill Hannah Bus Fire.
Oh, wow.
And check out that video. It was pretty amazing.
Just that
'Cause
title
had
is
that happened
not
while we
right.
were in the tunnel,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Oh
with
my God.
friends of
I never knew that,
I've known
man.
my whole life.
So, dude, listen, you've got to the pinnacle of what you've aspired to do with the music business. Then you save people's lives. What's
Then I
next?
save people's
What are you
lives.
going to
What's
do now? Yeah.
I'm
Don't
going to
be like-
Disney World.
Yeah. Fucking awesome answer. He just won the Super Bowl. He's going to Disney World. It's very interesting.
Rory. We're going to wrap this shit up. So,
Wrap it up, boys.
as traditional, we always wrap it up with a game show.
Oh, right.
Let's go with the name of the old TV show. Since we got
Okay.
Rory with us today, maybe he can do a little
Maybe
better
Rory will smoke tone, huh?
than your sucker asses last night. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
I want to say either the theme of Shaft or
Yes. That's Shaft.
Shaft, Rory.
Got it. Damn. This
Come on,
guy's
Tony.
going to be a problem.
Should've had it.
Oh, man. I don't like this guy. This guy's going to give me some problems.
I can name that song in 2 notes.
2 notes.
Mickey Mouse
Bewitched.
Bewitched.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
Got it.
Yep. Oh, is it?
All right.
Get smart.
Dragnet.
Get smart.
Oh.
Tony, where are you today, buddy? Where are you today?
Where are
It's
you?
Yoda. It's not me. I'm lost. The newlywed game.
Come on, Tony.
I don't know.
You should know this one.
Dynasty.
No, Charlie's Angels.
Falcon Crest. Okay. Jesus, I'm just making that. Sounds
What
like
was
a
that,
cow. Man.
Mark? Mork and Mindy.
That's Mork and Mindy.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Wow.
Come on.
Oh.
WKRP.
Tony.
Welcome to the game, Tony.
Suddenly I woke up.
Turkeys can't fly.
Whoops.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, wait.
Come on.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Tony, you're with us.
All right, here we go. This is a tough one.
Oh, wait.
Rockford Files.
Oh, wait. Not Fantasy Island.
Dynasty.
Oh, wait. Guys. I'm a doctor.
Oh, Quincy.
It
is. Quincy M.E.
Crazy how we watch these shows day in and day out, but the theme songs just
Wow.
didn't
All right.
register.
One or two more.
One more, two more.
One more.
Dude, the violins back in the 70s.
Yeah.
They used them in disco. Friggin' everything.
Oh, yeah.
George Angels.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the easy one.
All right,
Chrissy's
one more.
on it
Chrissy.
tonight.
That was easy.
Chrissy's
I'm gonna punch you,
No,
man.
I only got two. Tony got them all.
I think that's it. I think that's it, guys. That's it,
Okay.
All right, let's wrap it
All
up.
right.
What a cruel thing to do to make a bunch of old dudes.
Oh,
try to
Fat
think
Albert.
that-
Yeah, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
What was that, Roy?
I said, what a cruel thing to try to make
And I
us
won't
think
sing a
back that
song for you.
It's a very cruel joke to try to make us old people think back that far.
Yes. All right, thanks for everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Y'all stay safe out there.
Thanks, Dave, for calling in. Thanks to fucking Usual Suspects. Yeah. We'll see you next week with Dave Rhodes when another trip down memory lane. Again, Rory, thanks for being here.
Make sure you tune into the house every week.
Tune into the house.
Many.
Don't forget to sign up.
Hey, Babaki.
Oh shit, it's Bill Cosby.
Have a good time.
Good time. Hey. Here you go. Good time.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Jello.